Welcome to tonight's Ask Your Guides session that we record live today on June 26th, 2025. I am so grateful to be joined by some guests tonight that I'll be doing readings for. And first, I'm going to be doing some collective channeling. And as I always say, take what resonates with you, leave the rest. And and tonight I was pulling cards from the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Sometimes if I put it on my face, it's clearer. And I chose this deck because we're under the Cancer new moon that just happened yesterday. So you met, and we're in Cancer season, and I happen to be a Cancer sun sign. What? So that's what we're pulling from tonight. So with these Oracle cards that just came up for the collective, we'll look at these and we'll do some channeling. First, we've got follow the stream. Follow the stream. And it's a beautiful picture of somebody standing at what looks like the edge of the ocean. And there's like that shell. I don't know the name of that shell. There's a pattern with the shell. It's beautiful. And it says dedication, trust, future rivers, and oceans. So to me, what comes up for me around this is like, what are you kind of following, right? What's this could be in relation to abundance, especially like water, abundance, life, or even health. It's it's about following what's present for you and making sure that it's leading to the ocean, right? Because have you ever followed a little creek and there's nothing at the end? It's just kind of dry and there's nothing there. Sometimes life brings us those experiences, but we want to go to the ocean, right? Where the health, the wealth, the love, and everything that's meant for us is. And funny enough, the second card that popped out is this one, the wishing well. And to me, that kind of relates with this other card as it says unexpected gifts, kindness, and karmic jewels. So, what stream are you following? Maybe you've arrived there with a ton of gifts coming in from spirit, from the people around you, or you might see that coming about in the coming days or weeks. So I'm going to do a little bit of channeling now for the collective, and then we'll get into our individual readings. So a lot of times people ask me, well, what do you channel, Christine? And I've been told that what I channel is called the voice of I am. Um, and we're all essentially channels of source, right? Even if you're channeling like Bashar or Abraham, where does Abraham or Bashar get their information? Source, right? So, and again, take what resonates and leave the rest. So we're going to go into a bit of that. Hmm. If you're hearing this message, it might serve you to be acknowledged that you've been doing a lot of work. This work could be in the form of physical work, whether you're working on a yard, you're working on your job, or perhaps you're doing a lot of internal work. There's a feeling of giving it your all, like you're going hardcore on whatever it is that's important work to you at this time. And we acknowledge you for that. I'm getting the sense that There's a call right now for the collective and those that are hearing this today to pay attention also to the feminine aspect of self, regardless of what gender you embody. The divine feminine is asking, is pleading for more balance and what we call meaningful work. She's asking for a bit of rest, for softness, for nurturing. And this doesn't mean that we give up the masculine, the sacred masculine aspects of ourselves, that act, that do, that bring energy forth. It means that we come into harmony with listening, especially to our bodies, our sacred vessels, for when it's time to receive, for when it's time to create from a place of playfulness, from a place of joy, sensuality. There's a deep call for this balance, and it starts with us internally. Being that we're in the season of Cancer, there's a nurturing call to the feminine to allow herself to be in flow. And as our cards represented tonight, it's a signal to pay attention to what's flowing and what's stagnant in life, what's moving, what has momentum. So we can follow that through in balance and receive the karmic jewels and the gifts that await us. This is also a time for sacred boundaries. As the crab shows up now in my vision, representing this is my space. This is my place on the beach, on the shore. And I invite people in to my sandcastle. When I have the energy, the time, and resources to be with you. So you might be looking at, where is there space for me right now? And who do I want to bring in to my sense of family? As we know, Cancer is a nurturing energy that loves home and family and time with those that they love, but there's also limits to that. There's also at this time a lot of people that are looking forward to the future, that are questioning what's ahead for me, what's ahead for the world. And the voice I am is here now to remind us that what's here for us is now. Is this moment. And then when we build our house on solid ground, on solid foundation, unlike the sandcastle I just mentioned. When the waves of life and the world enter our atmosphere, we're able to be with it. There's more to the story than we're being told, often at all times from authority, but that is not always ours to know and to hold. So there's a message of serenity, yet also a deepening and anchoring of your passion in the areas that you feel called to make a huge impact because it's needed now. As long as it's in balance, masculine, feminine, it can be fruitful. So serenity, yet mindful action. That is all for now. Thank you. So deep breath and release. Thank you. All right. So now we're going to move into our individual readings. And even if you're watching this later or you're here now, and I might be doing a reading for one person, but there might be things relevant in that one person's reading that resonate with you that you're like, oh my gosh, me too, right? So again, take what resonates for you. Who would like to go first? We've got a
I'll go.
no. Oh, you
I'll
do?
go.
Okay, I thought that was a no. I was like,
No, go ahead.
okay, wonderful. So I'm going to do this. We're going to grab some cards for you. I'm being called to this deck, Wisdom Oracle for you. And I would love to know what your intention is for our session today or for our time today. What would you love to receive clarity about, to learn more about?
Um, I think the word intention is an important part of my discussion
Mm,
moving forward. And um, trying hard to keep a straight understanding of intention, trying hard to enforce intention in a positive way.
mm, mm,
Hard for me sometimes because I tend to be very vocal when I'm um, upset. So trying to be, and I'm focusing in on one specific situation, which is artificial intelligence. And
mhm,
I'm having a discussion and a meeting, hopefully, with a CMO of a health clinic.
mhm,
And I was, in fact, a victim of non-disclosure of AI.
mm,
Happened last year, but things have come up that have needed to be brought to their attention, that there's now a state bill that is addressing the transparency of AI. So I'm revisiting this issue with a CMO and a manager who have already spoken with me last year about it, but it's being revisited because of the state bill. So
mhm,
my intention is in trying to be straight and patient, but strong.
mm.
And sometimes I tend to be verbal and forceful.
Okay.
So, um, that's kind of where I'm at. When you mentioned
Yeah.
intention, that
Mm.
was really a very, specific word for me.
Yeah. I feel that as you say it. And I love the self-reflection you just shared of like, hey, perhaps until now, I've tended to be, do you know what I mean? Verbal, you said. It sounds like speaking your mind or,
Yes.
yeah, saying what you feel. And what I hear is that you're wanting to be intentional about your presence, the energy, the words that you use in this space. What clarity from your guides, your higher self, would be supportive for you to receive at this time?
Repeat that question.
What clarity would you love to receive at this time?
Will this second meeting and or encounter and or discussion be productive, and will they understand the gravity of it, or will they perhaps pass it over as they have had before,
Mhm.
and then it becomes a real problem in
Yeah.
February of 2026, because that's when the bill becomes compliancy.
Mm.
So,
So you're saying, will I be heard? Right.
will I be heard, and will there
Yeah.
be action upon that?
Mhm. Okay. Is there a specific outcome that would be satisfactory to you?
It's like I told the manager at the very beginning when I had the discussion that I wanted the second meeting. I said the first meeting was a blow off
Mhm.
and basically unproductive. And I said, really, the only thing that the two people, one being the manager, the CMO, and one being my PCP,
Mhm.
the only two things that they could have done and should have done would have been to say, I'm sorry, and this would not
Mm.
have been a problem.
Mm. So
Neither
you're
one of
hoping for
them did that.
apology? Yes?
Pardon?
You're hoping
I,
for apology?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Uh, from both, not just one, but from both. And I
Yes.
am not thinking that's going to happen because
Mm.
he's male hierarchical, yeah,
Okay.
patriarchal,
Mhm.
authoritative because he's a CMO, and I don't think that he will truly understand the importance of creating a lifeline of communication, saying, "I understand," and
Yeah.
I
Yes. That's all we
understand
ever want, right? Is to be heard, to be understood and respected. And
respected.
yeah, so what came up in the cards as you were speaking, the first one that came up was loyal heart, right? When you were talking about the conversation that you're about to have. And when I see that, I feel like there's partnership, right? Like there's, oh, my camera goes out sometimes.
That's
Turn it
okay.
back on. Yeah.
Use your auto.
Yeah, my audio's here, which is always fun. Um, so loyal heart being, feeling like you're in partnership or like you're being supported. And it's also a call to me as I see it to, what's important to you, right? What do you feel you're being loyal to in the process? But I see these birds like looking at each other. You know what I mean? Like they're seeing each other. You see that?
Mm.
So it might be an opportunity for you to be seen and heard, right? In love, right? And we can be seen and heard and loved by anybody and hopefully by these people that you're speaking about. You also got TikTok, right? So you were talking about time and how, like, hey, there's an urgency here to make this right. And then you got milk and honey, which is kind of like an indication of if you can see like the little elephant and it looks like he's in a latte, which I'm like, why is the elephant in the latte? But it might be an experience of you leaving that experience feeling like wow, I have everything that I want and that I need, right? From this experience. Your last one that came out in combination with that one, this one doesn't look as pretty, but it's actually, to me, a really good card, which is out to sea. And if you can see, there's an image of kind of like a divine being in the clouds. And she's here in what looks like a bathtub, but it's actually a boat. And out to sea, meaning like she's in flow, right? She's going with the flow. She knows that she's guided and supported by source, by the divine, by all that is. I might have to change my camera for the next one. And she's in kind of like surrender to that flow. When we're in a boat, right? She doesn't have any paddles. I don't see any paddles at least. So she's in flow. So you might find yourself feeling seen, it's adding a sense of urgency to the situation, right? In your conversation and feeling like I've got the milk and honey, no matter what happens, actually. You can be in that place and returning to your state of flow. So, knowing that these are cards for you for tonight, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to drop into channeling and connect with your guides to find out what you need to hear about this situation here and now tonight. How's that sound? Good deal? Okay, let's do that. What I always tell my clients when I work with them one on one is to remember that everything shared here, your guides often will share options, pathways, potential outcomes, right? What is important to remember is that you have free will. So anything I advise or say or whatnot, you get to choose, right? And the other people in your situation also have choice. So we're going to tune in. I'm going to set a timer just so I don't get lost in space. And there we go. It's kind of backwards, but it'll ding when it's done. There we go. Lynn, thank you for being here with us tonight. We're going to ask that your guides of the highest frequency that are able to communicate with us clearly tonight are able to be here with us, knowing that we're in the protection of love and light as we do. Mm. I'm feeling a couple of things coming up for you energetically. Often they'll start with what might be going on with your physical or energetic body. And first, I'm sensing kind of like in the left side of the head, and it may be reversed and in the right for you, but I'm feeling it in the left that you might have been feeling as of late, kind of like a almost like headachy energy, tension that kind of moves down into the cheeks, kind of starting from the temple. Um, there's some pain there, and that can be stress related. And then I also felt energy moving around in the solar plexus or stomach area. So it makes me curious if you have been feeling getting the kind of like sitting a lot, thinking a lot in thought, and maybe experiencing some nerves in the stomach as well. And we're asking that if that is so for you, that these energies be cleared so that you can return to harmony internally. Your guides are acknowledging that there's been heartbreak in a sense in this situation. I'm feeling a lot of mm, a sensation of breaking in the chest, kind of like I'm not so much like anxiety, but more of like like ultimate disappointment, leading to it might have brought up a lot of tears for you. Kind of like there's definitely anger in there as well, but they're saying it's heartbreak about our systems. They acknowledge that and want to support you in releasing it so that you can show up to this conversation in conviction and in clarity and in freedom. There's directing my attention to the person you spoke about, of higher authority in the company. I'm getting kind of like a painful and a sharp feeling in the hand, in the right hand. Mm. It's kind of like it feels like he. Mm. It's kind of like it's on his hands. I don't know how to explain it. It feels painful for him to have this on his hands. And there's a desire for him to do what's right, but it feels almost like split energy of I want to satisfy you, right? Meaning you yourself and make this right. And I also have other people I have to satisfy and abide by as well. And so he's in this place of trying to feed both wolves, if you would. And it feels like they're saying that and asking, it's I'm asking, does he explicitly know what you're wanting as an outcome? Like, hey, alls I want is to be heard about this and receive an apology because I feel very heartbroken about the nature as to which this has happened and then been handled. It's kind of like if you're and often can come up with men in general, right? They're like, just tell me what you want, right? Tell me how to fix it. Tell me how to make it right. Because otherwise they might find themselves trying to protect, right? Because they're not completely sure, it feels like, what your desired outcome is. It's like, does she want a bunch of money? Does she want, do you know what I mean? Publicity? Does she want a public apology? Like what actually needs to happen? So it's like I see them kind of like looking at options for how can we handle this? But if you're willing to say what you want, it's likely that that is what they will indeed give you. Hmm. I'm wondering. Hmm. Yeah, the energy of the company itself. which we're not here to speak ill of anybody. However, the energy is definitely feel a denseness in the energy of the company, like denseness in their ability to see mm, how to best care for the people that they're responsible for. Yeah, it's almost like I'm seeing a tug of war of trying to do what's right, but also there's other mm, kind of like stories operating in the background that are old programming or old paradigms, if you would. It doesn't feel great. I'm gonna say that much. Um, so this opportunity for you to show up and say, actually, this really sucked. And here's the experience it created for me. And here's what I know I could do, but what I actually want is this, right? It's almost like you're there to shed light on people just want you to do the right thing, right? Are there people that are out for, do you know what I mean? That almost like want to be victims of hardship in life because they think it's how they earn care or receive goodness from others is like, if you see me as somebody that's vulnerable or hurt, then I am then cared for, right? And that's not how you are approaching this. Mm, right. How are you feeling over there?
You speaking to me?
Yes.
Yes, you're dead on. The problem is the CMO is overextended. The entire
Mhm.
clinic is overextended.
Yes.
The problem is that they are employing AI and
Mhm.
not telling people
Mhm.
that
And
they
that's
are
what you're
doing
there to
so.
shed light on,
And
right? Is,
and
hey, it's okay. We need you to do the right thing and tell us, right?
and,
And make
and,
this
and
known, right?
but at the very beginning of this
Mhm.
conversation with the manager that I just now had,
Mhm.
everything that you said I should present, I presented to her.
Yeah.
And I said, this is what needs to be done. And
Mhm.
this is what needs to be followed through with. And
Mhm.
I'd like to talk to this chief medical officer, which he gave me 20 minutes of his time and kind of basically blew me off. The real question, and it's not a question, but the real problem is he has two employee PCPAs who are conflict of interest. They are doing a side hustle with the Weight Watchers drug
Yeah.
on their off time. And I point blank said to the manager this time out, I said, that's a distinct conflict of interest. How can they service two
Yeah.
separate patient sectors and still be adequate? And the
Yeah.
real issue is the CMO has allowed that to happen ever since
Mhm.
I had the
Old
problem with.
paradigms, right?
Yes,
Old
they're
stories, old
still
tapes.
operating,
Yeah.
and I basically told the manager, I said, "You need to look at the timeline when they employed
Yeah.
their when they actually applied for their LLC for this business and brought it up is exactly the timeline that I started having problems. You need to look at the
Yes.
timeline." So all of the things that you just said, I presented to her, and of
Mhm.
course, you have to go through channels, and
Yeah.
these are the things he needs to look at in
Yes.
order to understand that the state bill is now going to be a bill that requires them
Yeah.
to be transparent with AI. And
Yeah.
he did not know that.
Yes.
She already explained that to me. So you were dead on with how I was feeling. You're dead on with what you were feeling about the organization. You were dead on with the issues he has because he's overextended.
Yeah, I
And
felt like his hands tied.
absolutely, he
Mhm.
absolutely just needs to
Yeah.
either buckle down and find another person to help him,
Mhm.
or he needs to not take new patients
Mhm.
and provide adequate services, but the whole medical
Yes.
community is screwed anyway, so I already know that.
Yeah.
So this, but you were
Yes,
dead
but
on
you're
with
in Milk and
everything.
Honey over there, girl, like, this is you, right?
So so
So
that
mhm.
means then that what did that last card really mean?
So for Milk and Honey, it's kind of like, the way I saw it at least is like you're here to shed light on the situation and be a voice, and no matter what, this is your life, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of like you playing the role that you agreed to play, soul wise, like, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna show you guys, right? Like what's going on up in here, but they have choice, right? And your choice can be to go with the flow of spirit, right? No matter what they choose to do, right? I
I
did
agree.
see them hearing you or seeing you and seeing it, but your job is surrender, right? And I'm in when it comes to influence, right? The measure of our influence isn't whether people do what we want or not, right? It's how aligned we feel when we express it, right? So like you said, like, hey, I want to be intentional, right? So what a powerful opportunity for you to go into this space, be intentional about who you want to be within it, what you want out of it, right? And then go with the flow. I see you moving on, going forward,
Yeah,
right? So I honor you for your conviction, for your passion, for your willingness to climb the corporate hierarchy. And I'm like, Lynn should have been a CEO, or maybe she has been, right? Because you are, and I also saw that maybe in the Enneagram, you might be a one, which is about it's a strong, strong call for justice, fairness, doing what's right. So thank you for being somebody that's willing to speak up for doing what's right. Don't let it get your goat, right? You got this little mountain goat. That's your happiness, your milk and honey. Nobody can take that from you. Thank you
thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you very much for that reading. It was
Yeah,
pretty dead on. Yeah, thank you.
wonderful. And I send all my love for the highest and best outcome for everybody involved. All right. So we're going to take a deep breath in. And exhale it out our mouths. It's so good. All right. We've also got another guest here tonight that I think wants a reading. Miss Sarah, are you ready for some goodness up in here? We might go a little bit over time, so know that if you need to drop off, that you're welcome to do so. I'm going to stay here and do what we do, but you're welcome to stay as well. So, Sarah, I would love to hear from you.
Hey,
What's
I have to have my camera
your
off when I talk because,
Yeah,
as we
you're
saw
fine.
the other
Yeah,
day, yeah.
internets. I get it. My camera shuts off by itself because it's like, no. So, what's your intention or what would you love to receive clarity about tonight?
So it's funny because my friend Fiona and I were actually talking today about how sometimes having the intention of no intention and just kind of see
Mm,
what spirit wants to
yeah.
have.
Oh,
So I'm like,
juicy.
oh man, I like to be in control, but no, we're gonna see what spirit wants to say.
Ooh, I love that so much for you. I'm gonna grab, let's see. Oh, my water cards. Where are they? Healing Waters Oracle. We're gonna pull a couple of cards and then we'll do some channeling. It's gonna be so good. Thank you for being here tonight and for your serenity to receive whatever wants to come through. I love that. Oh, thank you. You got it says gratitude, appreciating what's sustaining you. And she's like basking in this light, right? At the ocean, of course, because these are water cards. I love all the rainbow vibes around her as well. So you might be feeling a lot of gratitude. Yeah, yeah, you are. I see it in your face. Love it. Okay. Let's go for a couple more. And if you're watching this now and maybe you're like, that's not me, I'm not feeling gratitude. You always have choice. You can shift it at any moment. So we often have a lot to be grateful for. All right. Metamorphosis. Oh, what's she doing up in there? I love this. It says, embrace transformation. Things are different now. And I love the body's highlighted here. Like she's like, oh, that's so beautiful. Ooh. So I'm gonna be tuning into that transformation here. We're gonna go, oh, one more. All right, girl. I've seen this card before and I love it so much. It is Selkie, come out of hiding and embrace who you really I'm gonna add effing are, okay? Embrace who you are. So you're grateful, you're transforming, but you gotta come out and play like the seal. I love it. Okay. So now we're gonna tune into your guides, your higher self, your spirit team, those that can communicate with the highest frequency that we can access to hear clearly exactly what needs to be said now. They're saying that you don't just feel gratitude, you're embodying gratitude. I feel it throughout the center of your being, all the way down into the earth. It's very anchored within your being. I also felt a shift in the energy of the face, almost like mm, if we were to be looking, they're giving me kind of mm, like a window, like an open window. The window's open, but you're kind of like coming through now, right? And kind of looking around. There might also be transformation happening in the physical face. You might look at yourself on a given day and be like, wow, I look a little different today. And this might not be specifically related to, we often think of like how our body carries our our physical matter, right, in this life, but it's almost like a shift just in how you're seeing yourself. Ooh, I love that. Mm. Oh, have you been tapping a lot? I feel a lot of tapping on the top of your head.
Yes, you know it.
Yeah, I was like, who's tapping on your head? Oh, that's you. Let's see. Mm. It's working. They're saying it's working. It's helpful. Have you been, this might sound kind of funny, but either in your mind's eye or in your physical experience, like with your physical eyes, have you been seeing like kind of like glimmers? I'm seeing like kind of like how I have one in my room, that's why I'm pointing, but the little hangers, little crystal, I don't even know what they're called right now, but the sun catchers, they're saying, there you go, that reflect kind of like glimmers of rainbow energy, almost like in that
Yes.
card as well. Have you been seeing a lot of that?
Constant. I always think it's my beloved peanut saying hi to me.
Oh, oh, yes. Mm. Very much connected to your heart. Mm. It's kind of like Peanut's kind of like the doorway, if that makes sense, for kind of like other ancestors, guides, and beings to kind of bring light into your experience. Like Peanut kind of opens the portal, if you would, into the heart,
That
into
makes
your
so much
physical reality.
sense.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know, but I just see Peanut opening the door and like guides coming in, ancestors sending you that light and love, messages. Hmm. Feeling some energy in the jaw, right side,
Yep.
jaw and ear.
Yep.
Okay. Is that pain or disharmony or something that you feel feels like there's some shift in this area that might be creating some pain?
It is
Okay.
creating some pain. Yep.
Okay.
It's like
Ah,
pressure
it's
and
like
then
going down.
yep.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Yeah. If we're seeing it, then it's here to be cleared, right? It's here to be acknowledged, to be seen and released. So we're going to trust that in the divine timing that this energy, it's, I feel it coming through to the throat and the mouth, almost like
Yep.
what needs to be said. What are you hearing? Hearing? Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's sensitive. It's like, what are you hearing? Not only from the outside world, but from your higher self and perhaps your guides as well, that needs to be spoken. Spoken.
Mm.
It's like going, I'm, I feel it moving down into the throat as well. Let's see. They said you could also sing, and that would be helpful to your, it's kind of like heart. It kind of like brings it all out. So if there's a song that feels maybe one that is already in existence, of course, or one that you make up, right? That feels true for you right now,
Okay.
that can really help clear this stuff up. Yeah, some tapping in the heart too. You've likely been doing that. They're showing me. There you go. But they're talking about the transformation. Yes, there's transformation here. There's transformation in the heart energy as well as in what you're willing to speak. They're they're also pointing at your kind of like the work you do in the world, your business. And they're showing me you writing, like writing and typing. And there's an ask. Ooh, I'm feeling it in your ankle and your foot now. Okay. Um, there's an ask for you to speak, um, whether it be you recording your voice, like podcastish style I'm seeing, or just like little snippets that might, they can be emailed, you can text them out, you can social media them out, but it's like, I see you kind of like taking a deep breath in and then like freaking channeling that crap. Not that it's crap, but like channeling what needs to be heard, like a shift in not only writing it, but speaking it. I don't know if you felt called to do that lately or if you're open to it, but it's kind of like it's healing for your heart when you do this. Because I feel a lot right here. Have you been speaking messages lately to your audience or your clients, or feeling called to, or are you open, I guess is the question.
Definitely feeling called to. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. My Chiron's in Gemini, so sometimes it's that, am I going to say it? And sometimes I do, even with all the
Yeah.
stutters and everything else. But the podcast and that is definitely right on. Saying the talk to text, like, yeah, you're right on. They're with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm. I feel a lot of loving energy coming from the right side. It feels like ancestor or a family. It might be masculine, but somebody that mm, it's kind of like that wants to like touch your face. Um, they might still be alive. I was like, hold on, wait, are you? Let's see. Hmm. They keep talking about your dad. Is your dad around?
He is, and it's actually funny that you say this because my dad is Sag, Peanut is Sag, and there's
Mm.
been a lot of like Sag healing energy, including my
Mm.
chiropractor, who I'm now seeing, who is Sag and is completely helping things. My massage
Mm.
therapist, Sag. So,
Mm. Yeah, it's a lot of like, um, that makes a lot of sense because I keep feeling you being touched, like somebody wanting to like touch you. And it might not be like, oh, your dad wants to like cradle your face. It can be you getting, are these masculine support? Some of them
Yes.
perhaps? Okay. All right.
lots of them are.
Okay. This is good stuff. What? Mm. I see you kind of like rolling. Did you ever, like when kids do like kind of like somersaults and they kind of like roll? Uh,
Hmm.
it feels, it's a lot harder to roll uphill than it is to roll downhill. They're saying, and so it feels like this next period in your life, I'm seeing at least 6 months, feels more like playful going down a hill, like it's easy. Does that make sense? Or easier, I will say.
Yes.
Um, it feels like more fun, though we as adults might not think that rolling down a hill is very fun. Your inner child, it feels like would really love that type of experience, or like some kind of like going downhill fast energy. And we often think of downhill as like a bad thing, but when you're trying to have fun, downhill is a great thing. If you're trying to snowboard or sled down a hill or however you want to get down there, do it your favorite way. And that's the message for you tonight, is to find your favorite way to play that feels as easy as going downhill on whatever kind of way you want to do it. Let's see. Yeah, there's a call to playing.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. In a way that feels natural. It doesn't take like, oh, I gotta uphill. Like it's not play if you gotta go uphill, right?
Right.
Unless you like hiking, and good for you. Um, okay.
I do like hiking, but I like going downhill better.
Yeah. Yes. Me and you both, girl. Me and you both. Yeah. I'm gonna see real quick. What time is it? Okay, I will still go another few minutes here. I was looking at, oh, coming out. Oh, that was your Selkie card, was speaking your voice. Mm. Okay. I know I've seen this before and I'm seeing it again. You with you have like a magic wand.
Mhm.
It looks like cosplay. Like, do you do cosplay? Because I keep seeing you. You're like dressed up like a magical fairy.
I do
I-
during the holidays, but
yeah.
I would
Not that
not be
you
opposed to that.
Yeah, not that you need to do that, but it might be a symbol of Mm. The magical essence, the fairy-like essence of your being, right? That feels like anything I want, I got it, right? Magic wand, magic wand, magic wand.
I do have lots of magic wands.
Okay. All right. Well, I was like, what is she doing with this? Yeah, they were like, they were saying that's her soul. That's not, she doesn't need to dress up. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Mm. They went back to the heart. There's some heartbreak energy, and I'm feeling it around child. Um, it feels like center of the heart, center of the chest. They said that it's not like something happened very recently or something like that. It's kind of like old pain or like residual pain, motherhood, right?
Hmm.
That's like kind of camping right out between the baby feeders, okay? Um, kind of feels like you want to throw up around it too. Um,
Yes.
mm, they're talking about writing, which may eventually turn into book, right? Again, another. Um, and there's something very potent with motherhood there.
Okay.
And it's like it helps release this more and more. Even if you're not sitting down to write, or if you want to speak it as well. Mm. They're talking about like not trying to write a book, but writing out of self-healing. And you may find within that process that you're like, that that's a book, or that's an article or a something I need to share with the world. Because this is like, it doesn't feel good. Do you get that there physically for yourself, or is that um energetic per se? I guess it doesn't really matter, but I'm feeling it very strongly. So I'm like, what are you feeling over here?
This is actually funny because right before when you were connecting in, I literally sent all my guides over and I was like, I'm completely open. You tell her everything. And that would be one of my guides, which is the Dalai Lama. And him and I have had arguments on, well, he doesn't. I argue with him. He's all calm. But I've argued with him where he's like, you're going to write another book and you're going to do it a different way. And I was
Mm.
not understanding it. And you just put clarity.
Oh,
So,
okay. And he might be also some of that masculine, soft, do you know what I mean? Like wants to love you energy
yep.
that we were feeling as well. Oh, I'm so glad that that's clear for you. So, yes, it's not that you need to sit down on the mission to write a book, it's writing to heal this.
Yep.
Mm. You've got this. That's what they're saying. They're like, shit's good. Shit's good. Stomach also.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, stomach's like, have you been like rubbing your stomach lately?
Oh, yeah.
Like sending energy
Yep.
there. I'm feeling it.
Yep. So I've been giving myself Reiki
Okay.
and um yeah, there's been definite bouts of nausea and that.
Yeah.
Just release it.
Mm. Yeah. They're saying it's like that kind of like you would a baby. If a baby's tummy's hurting, you'd like rub the belly.
Yep.
Um, yeah. Yes. Just nurturing that aspect of self. It's really, it's like all of this purging sense of like you kind of coming out of hiding, they're saying, right?
Yeah.
And
Dead on.
we don't like, literally hide in closets or something like that, but there's aspects of ourselves that we don't always allow the world to see. And
Yep.
And for you, this is a process of healing so that you can do that with more ease, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Dalai Lama, you're so sweet. Yeah, I feel him. Oh, this is so beautiful. Mm. Yeah, I'm asking for some clearing around the stomach 'cause I can still feel that. Let's see. Okay. Do you have any parting questions?
Hmm. What is the next logical step that they would like me to take? And if that's just sitting there and just enjoying life, then I will accept that.
I just saw some laughter, some giggles. Hold on, let's see. Caring for this, caring for the body.
It's been loud and clear.
hmm They're talking about taking naps. I don't know if you're a napper, but they're saying like almost like even if you don't sleep, they're kind of like she needs to lay down during the day at some point.
That's dead on too.
Feeling some burping happening. Okay, we're clearing it. Oh. Um, do you have a place outside that you like to write or like type?
Actually, I used to like to go sit at the tree and the Olathe Park and
Mhm.
write there, but I haven't been in a while. But
Okay.
hmm.
They're saying it's almost like you don't have to write in that specific spot if you don't feel called to that anymore, but their next logical step is like find where you want to, like where's your sacred space to move through this
Mm,
process. Oh, yeah,
okay.
for the feminine clearing of that the pain of motherhood, which I myself know is not always a fun process, and I'm sure many other mothers of the world could relate to that. So find your sacred space
Okay.
to do that. That is your next step.
Okay. Thank you.
A deep breath in and we're going to ask for some sealing of our energetic bodies as we're here, whether you're here with us now or you're listening later, just to kind of do a nice little clean sweep around your etheric body, the emotional body, and the physical body. And seeing that covered in beautiful white light. Also anchoring back down into Mother Earth, who's holding us all so, so beautifully. And thanking the divine, our connection to all that is, our guides, higher selves, and the voice of I am for your wisdom shared here tonight. And so it is. Oh man. I was trying to make myself come back on camera, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm going to say, I'm going to ask, what did you guys love about our session tonight? Oh, there, look, I'm here. What'd you love, Lynn?
The whole session was correct and very accurate. And I'm very grateful I tuned in.
Yeah.
And I think that your gift is a gracious thing that you do to give it free. And I
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Yes. Thank you. And I thank my guides, my higher self for answering the calling to create this space because it nourishes me as well. So, and I couldn't do it without y'all here. So thank you for being here as well, Lynn. Sarah, what'd you love about tonight?
I really loved how our guides connected in together, and it was like a complete conversation that I completely understood, and that you were able to just get back to me, and it was just so positive
Mm,
and so loving. Even the stuff that's like not so comfortable, like the stomach and the
yeah.
ear and the jaw and some of that motherhood wounds, like it's still beautiful because it's the next level up. It is that metamorphosis. So,
Yes, get
I
it,
just
girl. Yes.
I
So,
just love your magic and your
mm,
positivity that you always bring to everything you do.
oh,
It's so beautiful and
thank you.
appreciated.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I loved that all of our guides got to dance around together tonight. They're probably having an after party like, and they're like, we did it together. Yeah, yeah." Something I've thought about with this, space, which I haven't officially made a decision yet, but I'm gonna say I've thought about providing them more often, and even doing some live streaming on YouTube and having people join there perhaps, just to open the space to more peeps if they wanna come in. But for now, I love the intimate way that we all get to connect. So,
I
yes.
think the YouTube idea is extremely helpful. I think that it would help a lot of people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the YouTube idea is a very good idea.
Yeah, and what's cool, I found that you can I, like, Googled it the other night. I was like, "Can you bring other people on your YouTube lives?" And it said, "Yes." So if you're on there watching, we can pull you on. We could do the same thing essentially. You just wouldn't see everybody that's there in a room all at one time like you do on
Right.
Zoom.
Right.
So I'm gonna take that, as a further affirmation. I'll connect with my guides on it later, and if anything changes about where and when and all this is, then you will be the first to know. Okay.
Great.
So I'm
Thank
going to
you very
stop our
much.
recording and say thank you for being here tonight.